Picture this. It's 1929. The economy is doing the financial equivalent of a trust fall, except nobody catches it. 1 in 4 workers gets a pink slip faster than you can say stock market. 9,000 banks disappear like your dad going for cigarettes, taking 1% of the entire economy with them in just hours. It took World War II, literally the biggest group project in human history, just to get America's economic heart beating again. Now, if the story sounds familiar, like that friend who keeps dating the same type of toxic person, well, nervous laughter. Welcome to 2025, where history isn't just rhyming, it's basically copy-pasting itself with a few emoji updates. Let me paint a picture. American household debt just hit $18 trillion. That's more money than if you combined every peso, euro, and monopoly dollar from Latin America and the European Union. The average American worker, they're like a hamster on a wheel, except the wheel keeps getting more expensive while the hamster food stays the same price since 1978. So there's America, fresh out of World War I, looking around like, well, that sucked. Time to YOLO. Europe's still picking shrapnel out of its infrastructure, but America? America is ready to party like it's 1929, which, spoiler alert, it was. Americans were done with rationing, done with saving, done with being responsible adults. It was like the entire country collectively decided to max out its credit cards at once. And speaking of credit cards, they weren't plastic yet, but stores were handing out IOUs like Halloween candy. By 1929, Americans were buying everything on credit. 75% of furniture purchases, credit. 60% of cars, credit. Common sense? Apparently that was the only thing nobody was buying. The stock market was having its own party, growing 500% in 5 years. That's like your Bitcoin-obsessed cousin, except instead of crypto, it was railroad stocks and radio companies. Everyone was getting rich. Well, everyone except most people. Here's the fun part. The top 0.1% were hoarding nearly a quarter of all income. It was like a game of Monopoly, where one player owns everything except Baltic Avenue, and everyone else is just hoping to pass go without landing on Boardwalk. Wall Street traders were making bets with 90% borrowed money. Imagine going to Vegas, borrowing $900 from a loan shark to bet on red, keeping the 100 you win, and calling yourself a genius. That was basically the entire financial system. Then came the crash. October 28th, 1929. The market drops 13%. October 29th, hold my beer, says the market, dropping another 12%. By November, half of the value, poof, gone faster than your attention span during a work meeting. Factories shut down. Farmers were literally burning corn for heat because they couldn't afford coal. That's not a metaphor. They were using food as firewood while people starved. The irony was lost on nobody except the government, which responded by making everything worse. They raised tariffs, hiked interest rates, and generally acted like someone trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Fast forward to today. We supposedly learned our lesson, right? We have safety nets, unemployment benefits, the Federal Reserve. It's like we installed airbags after the first crash. Except we're driving even faster now. American consumer debt. $18 trillion. That's not a typo. That's more than China's entire GDP. Credit card debt alone hit $1.2 trillion. And here's the kicker. 4 in 10 Americans missed a payment on a short-term loan last year. That's not a red flag. That's a red billboard with flashing neon lights. Remember those buy now, pay later schemes? They're everywhere now. It's like payday loans, put on a suit, and got a marketing degree. It's not debt, it's just 4 easy payments. Sure, and I'm not procrastinating, I'm just strategically delaying. Here's a fun fact that's actually not fun at all. The average American has the same buying power as they did in 1978. Meanwhile, college tuition has gone up faster than a SpaceX rocket. We now owe $1.8 trillion in student loans. That is the equivalent of every single person in America owing over $5,000 just for the privilege of being told they need more experience for an entry-level job. Universities figured out the perfect scam. Keep raising prices because people will keep borrowing. It's like a drug dealer, except the drug is a piece of paper that says you're qualified to be unemployed with style. This trap feeds into an even bigger problem. The richest 1% now make 139 times more than the bottom 20%. That's not a wealth gap, that's a wealth Grand Canyon. And just like in the 1920s, when wealth concentrates at the top, it creates this illusion that everything's fine, while everyone else is one car repair away from bankruptcy. And what are companies doing with all this money? They're not investing in the future. They're doing stock buybacks. Just this past April, they announced $230 billion in buybacks. That's like renovating your kitchen while your foundation is cracking. Sure, it looks nice for Instagram, but your house is still sinking. All while productivity has completely flatlined. In the 1920s, at least America was building things: factories, infrastructure, assembly lines. Today, we're not building much of anything. We're just shuffling money around and calling it growth. It's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic and calling it interior design. And speaking of sinking ships, let's talk about the banks. Regional banks are failing faster than New Year's resolutions. 5 failed in 2023, 3 more already this year. Silicon Valley Bank was just the appetizer. There is nearly $1 trillion in commercial mortgages coming due right now that cannot be refinanced. That's like having a balloon payment on your house, except the balloon is made of lead and it's falling on everyone. And don't think this is just a Wall Street problem. Over 60% of Americans have their savings tied to the stock market through 401ks and indexed funds. When this thing crashes, it'll wipe out your retirement, your kids' college fund, and that emergency savings you've been building since 2020. The Federal Reserve? They're stuck. Raise rates, you get a recession. Lower rates, you get inflation. It's like being asked to choose between food poisoning and starvation. So where's the government in all this? In the 1930s, we got the New Deal. Bold, imperfect, but it did something. Today, Congress can't even agree on what day it is. The 118th Congress passed just 1% of proposed bills. That's a failure rate that would get you fired from literally any job, including the one where you dress up as a mascot and wave at traffic. All while our federal debt has hit $34 trillion. The interest payments alone are nearly $1 trillion a year. And unlike the 1930s, we're not entering this crisis from a position of strength. We're already stretched thinner than gas station toilet paper. There's no industrial boom waiting to save us, no untapped markets, no magic solution. Here's the thing about history. It doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. And right now, it's rhyming like a Dr. Seuss book written by Stephen King. The Great Depression wasn't inevitable. It was the result of greed, stupidity, and everyone pretending the music would never stop. Today, we're not just playing the same song. We're playing it louder, faster, and with more synthesizers. When this bubble pops, and bubbles always pop, it will not be a soft landing. It will be like jumping out of a plane and realizing your parachute is actually just a backpack full of IOUs. Your savings? Gone. Your job? Probably gone. Your faith in the system? Definitely gone. And the worst part is, we see it coming. We're watching it happen, like a car crash filmed for a Michael Bay movie. Except nobody's walking away from this explosion in slow motion. The Great Depression taught us that ignoring economic warning signs is like ignoring a weird noise in your car. It might go away, or your engine might fall out on the highway. Right now, our economic engine isn't just making weird noises. It's smoking, leaking, and held together with duct tape and wishful thinking. But hey, at least the radio still works, right? Right?